Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Slimming Surgeon podcast.
Woo.
I'm your host, Dr. Kandace Kichler, and I have my honorary co-host with me today, Daria, Goggler, Tighe. Is Goggler even a thing anymore?
Nope.
Okay.
Goggler's a thing of the past now.
Daria,
I'm Daria
Tighe in the building. So if you are an OG longtime listener, A, I love you, but B, you've definitely already met Daria. She was on one of my first episodes. I think we did 3 altogether.
Yeah, this will be the 4th time.
This will be number 4.
Yeah.
And we're here today. I brought her because she's definitely my favorite guest.
Thank you.
But we are kind of just doing like a recap.
Yeah, we're just going to riff and, razzle dazzle.
Riff and raff.
And reflect on this year of Kandace.
Yes.
So how do you feel about it? This is your first year of podcasting. It's under your belt. I think you did great. How do you feel?
I feel really good about it. I definitely saw improvement in my interviewing skills because I love interviewing people. That's like my jam.
Oh, you're good at it.
My solo podcasts are good, and I do get a lot of positive feedback for those. But I love hearing from other people. And at the end of the day, I have selfish intentions. Like I want to learn and grow. And that's why I invite people who I find interesting onto the show to kind of explore their thoughts and what they're doing in their life and kind of just get a glimpse into it and let everybody else do the same.
I think you did a great job of that. And what I loved about your podcast this year was the variety of guests that you had on.
All over the place.
You were all across the board. So anyone listening can maybe relate to a little bit of anything that
I mean, it's kind of like my personality. Yeah. It's all over the place.
Multifaceted.
Yeah, well, that's
she's
the
a
word
mom. She's a surgeon. She's a queen. She's a workout star. She's a new tennis star now. She's a mom. She is everything. She's a moment.
I was so, listen, my tennis skills need to improve. I'm good, but
Hang
I'm not
out with
that
me,
good.
girlie.
I know. Daria just won her tournament in her region singles, right?
It was actually doubles.
You and Dan won doubles.
Yes, we separately won doubles. He won his flight and I won my flight.
Oh, okay. Who's
Individually.
your partner?
Her name's Esme. She's tall like me, and we're a really good team.
How old is she?
She's 43, so she's relatively young for my team.
So she's young also. Gotcha.
Yeah, so
because I play with women who are not as young,
and
they're freaking awesome.
I know, because they've been playing tennis for like 50
their
years.
whole life, literally their whole life. Yeah,
I know. I actually played against a woman not too long ago who's 93 years old.
Oh my God.
And she's still riding around and getting it, let me tell you.
She should ride around and get it.
That is my hero.
We all should ride around and get it at 93. At 93, you should do whatever you want, whenever you want. That's my feeling.
I know. I'm kind of looking forward to that stage of life. You just don't give a heck anymore.
Just like me right now applying my fake nails.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see, if you're watching the video right now, Kandace is applying fake nails because she has an event to go to this evening.
And I'm here to tell you, Gel X, I love it, but I hate it because it actually effed up my nails.
I know, it totally destroys your nails underneath. Why don't you do dip or something?
I was doing dip, but then they told me like I got duped. I don't know. I'm very gullible sometimes and listen to whatever people tell me, especially if it's their like profession. So I go to this nail salon and they're like, no, you need this. And I'm like,
they always try to tell you what you need.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, literally I have been doing dip for years. Not really a big problem. Like occasionally an issue with 1 or 2 nails where I'll like bend them back and there'll be a problem. Well, recently, I was just kind of getting fatigue. I was getting dip fatigue.
Okay.
But my nails are not strong enough for just regular gel. So I go to the salon. I'm in Tampa and it's beautiful. And they're like, we are the cleanest nail salon in the world. That's a strong statement. Sustainable nail polish, eco-friendly, blah, 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 blah.
Made with bamboo.
I'm like, okay, I don't really care that much about that stuff, but sounds fab. And this place is beautiful. And I actually had some free time and I needed my nails done. So I was like, okay, let me try it. So I got paired with this girl. She was actually amazing. She did the most beautiful nail art I've ever had. And I literally wrote them a review on Google. That's how good it was. Wow. And I don't really do that. Yeah, but I did. And I was blessed, loved them. They were everything. They were a moment. But they were a little too long. And,
with your lifestyle, you can't have long nails, can you?
Yes,
you can, right?
Not so much. No, okay. Not with operating. Like they've got to be a certain length. and not with having boys.
Oh my gosh, if you're operating, like leaving a nail in someone. Okay, has that ever happened to someone?
No. We have to set the record straight. Daria, people are going to like cancel their surgeries for fear of nails. No.
Full disclosure, I was not talking about Kandace specifically.
We wear, no,
she would never leave a nail in someone.
Anyone. But no, we wear gloves and sometimes double gloves. So there's no chance the nail will be left behind. But I would say lashes are a situation. That's why I don't wear them, because that could fall off.
They like go and like fall.
Yeah, and if you're not paying attention,
chest.
You know, if you're TikToking while you're operating, you don't see that lash fall in. I mean, shit.
If people are TikToking while they're operating,
people are doing that. People do that. That girl, she got her medical license taken away. This was in the news.
Good.
Honestly, same.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was a whole situation.
But we digress. So Kandace is doing her nails.
So I'm doing my nails on the air. I went to Ulta Beauty. That's what we call it. We don't just call it Ulta here on the Slimming Surgeon podcast. It is Ulta Beauty. And I made a stop on my way here because I have an event tonight for Kristen Rutley, who was on episode 36, I believe. If you haven't listened to it, go back and listen. It's fabulous. She's an amazing trainer in the area, and she's doing big things, and she's opening a studio tonight.
And for how young she is, I can't believe that. Like,
young AF. Listen, that is the energy that we bring to this podcast.
Yeah.
Like movers, shakers, doers, like good people. Yeah. And she's doing it. So I'm going to go support her, but I can't go with my hands looking like a gremlin.
No Rumpelstiltskin hands.
No Rumpelstiltskin hands. So anyways, these will probably last just tonight, and then they'll fall off, and that's okay. I'll go about my day. But in the meantime, I have to let them grow out because the Gel X ruined them.
That's sad.
They bent back, and it was extremely painful because it's like they would bend back, and then it's like you can't do anything about it because you can't just like cut them off because they're very fixed.
God, girl problems.
Girl problems.
Things
so anyways,
that we deal with.
I got these cute nails from Ulta Beauty. And then we're doing this podcast episode is also a Ulta review.
Yeah. Just things that we're liking right now. Products that we're enjoying, nails that we're liking.
Daria and I are both fans of Paris Hilton because why not?
She's the queen.
She is the queen. Before there were other queens, she was the queen.
Yes.
Except for like the Queen of England. But anyways, apparently, and I saw this on Instagram, she came out with a new tan situation. It's called Airbrush 360, The Future. So it's called The Future, but it's Airbrush 360. So, you know, people have tried to make sprays that you can like actually spray yourself, and most of them have flopped. So we'll see if this is a flip or a flop.
But how is it 360? Is the nozzle just complete 360?
No, I think what it is you can hold it upside down. You can hold it like on its side and it will still work. I don't know. This is just me hypothesizing. I don't actually know why it's called that.
You know, I trust Paris Hilton has a good, she always has a good tan. I believe that she's like a spray tan connoisseur.
Listen,
if she made one, it's probably good.
Yeah. So it's an ultra lightweight self-tan water in a 360 airless mister for a flawless sun-kissed glow in as little as 1 hour. And I'm just on my self-tan journey. Like I love a good custom spray, especially by Tan Line's Optional. I also really like Another Local Girl, Cheyenne. So if you need a spray tan plug, I've got you.
Okay.
But, you know, it's not necessarily in my schedule to do a custom tan every week.
Well, why don't you do it at home? It's so easy.
That's what I got this for.
True.
So we're going to try it out.
Okay, cool.
TBD. And it comes with a mitt.
Yeah, the mitt makes it really easy. And I have a hot tip too. So the mitt, if you stick like a ruler or any kind of kitchen utensil on it, you can use it to tan your back.
Okay, this is groundbreaking.
Life hack.
Never done that.
Yeah. Also,
I always just contorted my body.
No, you don't have to contort anymore. You can just use like a spatula. But also, I found a really great brand that I love. It's called Salty Face. I'm sure you've seen the Instagram ads.
I have not.
I get them all the time, but it's a brand that doesn't really smell bad. You know that spray tan stink? It's horrible.
It is horrible.
This one it's not so bad, and it's made with like non-toxic ingredients that won't, be an endocrine disruptor. And I really like it. And it looks kind of natural, not too orange.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So if,
where do you buy it? Off Instagram?
No. Yeah. I buy it off their website. So I go to saltyfacelike.com.
Good to know.
Yeah, Good to know. A really great product. Y'all use it.
Okay. So anyways, that's pretty much all of our review from Ulta for today.
Yeah. Where's our sponsor?
No, I'm otherwise using Sally Hansen Perfect Manicure Nails. So if it's...
Well, you're going to look great.
They'll work for an hour event.
You know, it's funny if you think about it. No one's looking at your nails. I would never do this. Don't look at Kristen Rutley's nails. They're not going to look at your nails.
I know, but listen, I'm a plastic surgeon. I can't walk up in there looking ratchet.
Absolutely.
So here we are.
What else is new? Okay, so we're going to talk about your recap.
Yes, let's recap the year. So we had our first 3 episodes. They weren't the very first 3, but they were some of the first 3 episodes that were really us jibber jabbing, talking about current events, talking about our like things we love, which I think like I kind of reiterated all of those things in almost every episode.
Yes. Actually, you know what? Speaking of current events and things that we love, did you see the new Challengers movie?
No.
The one with Zendaya?
No.
Oh, it's so good, girl. You got to see it.
I don't watch movies.
Really?
I don't.
You're like a movie gal?
I'm not. I mean, I wish I were because then I'd have more things to talk about.
Would you watch it when it comes out in like Netflix or something?
Potentially.
Okay.
Potentially. I say that, but then I haven't even watched the Barbie movie yet.
You still haven't seen it? That movie was like made for you.
It literally was. And here I am, still haven't. I see it on my TV every day. Yeah. Like you can watch it. It's easy to access, but I have 2 boys who want to watch Hudson's Playground and
like Herbie Fully Loaded.
Yeah, he watches. Oh my God, this one's on So Crooked. Ignore. So Hudson's Playground is Charlie's favorite. It's basically a father and a son who play video games and they record playing video games. I watch it sometimes. It is. It's like...
Is it on YouTube? Do they make money off this? Wow.
Yes. Oh, and let me tell you, they make some money. Like the guy gets an average of... It's at least 1 million views on each of these little episodes. And they're like 10 minutes. They're not even a full hour or anything like that, which kids' attention span is limited. So it makes sense. Yeah. And he's got several different, kind of games they play. So anyways, Charlie likes Hudson's Playground. And then Cam, we let him watch a little bit of Miss Rachel.
I heard good things about Miss Rachel. You know, I'm starting for a family soon, and when I have a little baby, I want them to watch Miss Rachel. Because I heard that she's like informational, and she's smart and teaches the kids shit. You know,
she does, and she honestly teaches them how to talk a little bit. It's cute. Like we first started it. He is over a year, so you know, don't get it twisted, people. I didn't like put my kid in front of a screen at like 1 month old, but. Okay. You know, when I'm trying to cook dinner or do something where I can't literally hold a child, it keeps them occupied for a few minutes. And it's positive, you know, it's nursery rhymes and it actually does a lot of phonics with them.
Oh, that's
so it'll
wonderful.
Be like, mama, and it zooms in on her mouth, repeats the syllables over and over. And it's like catchy songs that will get in your brain and you'll think about them all day long.
How cool.
So if it's in my brain, it's definitely in the kid's brain.
I want to know Miss Rachel's backstory.
She's rich AF too.
I bet I hope it doesn't come out that she's like one of those freaks like on Nickelodeon or something. You know what I mean?
I know.
It always comes out like the, you know.
Well, what happened with all that stuff? The Nickelodeon people. I mean, were they all literally like molested? I don't want to say that word, but I think so, right? Yeah. Poor Justin Bieber. He's my favorite.
Justin Bieber wasn't on Nickelodeon.
Whatever. Same crowd.
No, but I think Justin actually, I see where you're coming from because he was looped in with the whole Diddy thing.
Oh,
that's what that was.
That is so gross.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
That is grimy. I know, right? Like, honestly, that's grimy though.
I know.
What were they doing? Ew. I would not. Did you hear they called them freakouts or something like that?
Yeah, no, the 90s was a wild time.
It was really wild. My favorite, and I'm not going to go there. Okay, so let's go. I want to pull up just my list of the episodes that we did or that I did through the year because I feel like it was such a wonderful potpourri of podcast. And if this is your first episode, welcome. But also like there's so much more fun stuff for you to listen to. I also had my friend Olivia Figueroa.
Oh, she's been great. I think she was on twice now. So.
She was on twice. So fitness icon. look at her photos. You will be amazed by how her body looks like that and functions. She's like a walking anatomy textbook. Like you can see every muscle striation.
And I like that she's very open on her Instagram. Like if you follow her, you know what she's eating, you know what she's doing.
Yeah.
It's very clear that these are the steps that you can take to achieve those kind of results.
Right. And it's not easy.
Yeah. And it's not easy, but
she doesn't lie about that.
She doesn't lie about that either. And she also, you know, I don't want to say, I feel bad, but you know, she doesn't sugarcoat things either where, you know, it's like, maybe you can't do the cheat day that you think you want to, or
exactly.
you shouldn't have that 4th glass of wine. And she'll say the hard things that maybe people don't want to hear.
They don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
America does not want to hear it. So we had her on. You and I talked about my birth stories.
Yes,
that was a really popular episode. I love listening to other people's birth stories. So I thought that was really fun to rehash because I had 2 totally different deliveries. Hopefully next year you'll be telling your delivery story. So just don't have a home water birth. Just kidding. You can if you want to, but we're not into that here. Okay.
No, we're not.
I had
epidural all day.
Epidurals, you know, the things that you need. I've had several medical professionals on the podcast. So if you are a person that likes to geek out, you know, we talked about pelvic pain with Dr. Balani. I talked about mental health with one of our local psychiatrists, Dr. V. Vasilia. She's got an amazing Instagram, by the way. Like she posts these like truth bombs. Like it'll be in a tweet format or X, whatever you want to call it.
It's Twitter.
Yeah. So she puts her tweets out and they're just like, you know, the ones that you want to save, like, and send to your friends, those kinds of things. Like she's great with words. I had a gastroenterologist on the podcast, but we talked about so much and I felt like it was really positive. Cardiovascular health.
Yes, that was a good one. I remember that.
I had real estate professionals on here. I've had an attorney, your husband.
That's true.
Which he wasn't your husband at the time.
No, he was just my fiance. You're right.
Yeah. So,
so much has changed.
We have grown in this year.
Growing and changing and learning. You know,
right.
It's part of life.
I think another interesting one that I had was the feminine embodiment coach.
I don't remember that one.
Sorry,
I'm a bad friend.
No, I don't expect everyone to listen to every episode. Listen, I get it. Like the people that I follow and listen to their podcasts, I don't listen to everyone either. You should listen to what you're drawn to. That's how I am. Or like if you're in a certain mood and you want to hear a certain topic, that's what I go search for. Like lately I've been very much into self-development and like manifesting and finding ways to life hack or increase my productivity. So that's been what I've been looking for. And that's also kind of the people I want to interview. But our feminine embodiment coach, that was a wild episode because she talked about, you know, how some of us can be too masculine as females, but then you have to also be somewhat like, you also have to take control of your life and you can't just like let the men run all over you. It was wild.
I know you got to swing your dick around sometimes as a woman to get to get anywhere in this world, but
I know it's so crazy.
Sorry, our producer's like dying.
And I didn't talk. I mean, you know, I didn't have a lot of episodes about plastic surgery because I also want to separate work from this. It's fun, and I do at least dive into it with every guest. Like, what have you done? What have you liked? Tips and tricks and things that are on their mind and that they want to talk about. But, you know, it hasn't been a Q&A plastic surgery podcast. Other people have requested that I do that.
Yeah. And if they follow you, they kind of get a lot of that anyway. And you know, maybe that could be feedback for next season.
Right. Next season, which I'm going to take a slight break. So if you're listening to this episode in end of May, early June, which I think is when this one will air of 2024, there probably will be a break for a month or two until I kind of regroup.
Mama needs to rest.
Mama needs to rest. I need to have a big brainstorming session. I want to get super organized before I jump back into another year.
Sure. And Homegirl wants some sponsors too. So anybody who's interested,
if you're a local business,
give the girl some cash.
Yeah. If you want to be featured, I can read a beautiful ad for you and talk about how amazing you are and all of your products. Better than Paris Hilton tanning salon.
I know. We did that for free earlier. What are we doing?
Literally. I know. This is my downfall.
You're just too kind.
But another great thing that came out of this podcast was, well, I've had many, many, many patients talk about either hearing me on a podcast and that's how they learned about me.
Yeah. That's
wild.
Really cool. Okay.
It is really cool. So this has definitely paid off in many ways, more ways than one. So hearing me or hearing me on someone else's podcast, but also 3 women who I had on earlier, we called it the like Women Tell All series, where they talked about things that were close to their heart, you know, getting older, hormones, raising children in this society.
So relatable.
Bringing up girls, because most of them have all of them have daughters. Those 3 women, or one of them in particular, or 2 of them in particular, they developed something called the social circle. So it's a local networking circle in Palm Beach area.
Cool.
Where other women who are, you know, professionals or entrepreneurs or who just want to network and kind of like level up are getting together. There have been 2 meetings so far. The next one I think I'm actually going to be speaking at.
No way.
About social media.
Oh, cool. You're going to speak about social media?
Yeah.
You're going to teach these old things, old birds, how to use the social media and the Facebook?
It's so funny because when people like older, not old, older. I don't know what's a better word for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad.
Definitely not the word old.
No, more mature.
More mature. Yeah, seasoned.
Yes.
Spicier. I don't know. Sprinkled, glittered.
Yeah.
Instead of seasoned, glittered. So when the glittered women, when they make Instagram accounts, you know, they do it wrong just from the get-go. They come up with weird names like Janine,
soccer mom, 6969.
Yes, the numbers. Yeah. What's with the numbers?
I don't know. And then
no one knows what the numbers
always
mean.
Like, mom, to have 2 kids, Jackson and Taylor.
Right.
And then like
the
a dog
emojis,
and then like a swirl, and then like a Psalms quote. Yeah, it's never good.
So step 1 is get a normal username.
So are you going to try to give them like a Facebook like facelift? If
yes.
you will? Okay.
Yes. Actually, that's a great title.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay, great. Got it. Noted. Which also something that I've utilized recently is Canva for making presentations. So have you heard of Canva? It's like an editing tool.
I don't know how to use it, but I've tried.
Yeah, I use it occasionally. I don't use it for every post on Instagram because it's not that deep. But for big stuff or reels or maybe, you know, something that I need, like my podcast label, cover, whatever you want to call it. I use Canva, and I'm actually using Canva for presentations similar to PowerPoint. So PowerPoint's ghetto. It's old. Yeah. Like nobody uses that. It's ancient. They have not updated it at all. If they have, it's probably $1 million, whatever. We're not into it. And Canva has presentations and they look amazing. Wow. They look glamorous.
You are a woman in STEM. You are a genius.
Basically, I know. Call me. People should call me. I'll do your presentation for a low fee of millions of dollars. No. So Canva's great. I could give them a tutorial on that because it's really user friendly. It's super easy.
Cool.
It's like graphic design, but you can do it yourself on your own computer or even on your phone. I did a lot of it on my phone.
Wow. When is that speaking engagement? So you can plug it for
It's
the people
going to
listening.
be the end of June. But if you're at all interested in coming to that or at least hearing about the social circle, just send me a DM. Like that's the easiest way to reach me. I always respond. And that's the like direct to the source. I'll give you the 411.
So the social circle, is it like, so it's like an official group of women?
It's an official group.
So do they have their own social media where you can go to follow them or?
It's young because again, this is only like, we're only 2 meetings in,
That's
but
a good idea.
It is a great idea.
I think a lot of people struggle to find community, and sometimes if you move to like a new town and you know, it's hard to make friends and that'd be a really good resource for women.
100%. And the other thing with this area is like everyone expects you to just join a charity and just, you know, give oodles of money for a great cause. It's always a great cause.
For a great cause and some caviar.
Right. And then you get roped into just giving a lot of money away and not really leaving with any sense of purpose or connection. And you're not actually physically getting involved in this, you know, charity necessarily. So this is just something different. It's a different vibe. It's not like, oh, we're all going to sit around and just like throw money away. Like it's productive. It's trying to better ourselves and network.
That's
and
so nice.
Be able to utilize the people that are here locally. So like for me, for instance, I met a lot of other people in the aesthetic industry. It wasn't all aesthetics, so don't get it, you know, it's not like it's all people in the same field. It's all different walks of life, but we were all able to connect and it's like, oh, I don't really have a plastic surgeon who I refer my patients to. I'd love to send them to you. Like that's the kind of connections we're trying to go for. Like, why would we not help each other out? We're neighbors, positive people, positive vibes, all the good things. So.
How amazing. I guess on that topic, I've always wondered about charity events. Why do they spend all this money throwing the charity event instead of just giving the money to the charity?
For clout.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Totally for clout.
Like they can spend like thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars on an event that could just easily go to the cause.
No, it's just, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong.
Party, so.
I like to do them as well. And I'm doing one on Friday. My friend got me on the chair or like on the little luncheon committee. So I'm going to be going to a luncheon, but yeah, I agree with you.
What's the difference between a lunch and a luncheon?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
We're going to say that a lunch is just food and a luncheon involves some speaking arrangement.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm going to go with that.
Smart.
Defined by me.
Questions that plague the ages.
Okay, I do want to talk about tennis while we're on here.
Okay.
What do you think about people who do pickleball? I'm biased. I think that they're just lazy.
So you're a hater?
I'm a hater.
Okay. So
listen, I haven't actually played. So I don't really hate a lot. It's just in my mind.
No, it's natural. There's a natural like polarization between tennis players and pickleballers, but pickleball is actually really fun.
So do you do both?
Yes, I have done both. I actually played pickleball in high school. My high school would have huge like school-wide tournaments that we would play and we looked forward to it every year. I thought we made up the game because I'd never heard of it before or since.
You did?
Yeah, until I moved here.
You made it up. Your school made it up because that was never heard of.
Actually, no, it was invented by this guy. I think it was like in the 60s. And he just like created his own game because he was bored. And his dog was named Pickle. Huh. So that's where pickleball comes from, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Huh.
I know.
Well, and I've heard, because I talk to people, that there are like little references in the game, like related to cooking. Like you can't be in the kitchen.
You can't step in the kitchen. I think that's the only reference, at least I know. But there's one cooking reference. No, but it's actually really, really fun. And I think it would be a great sport, especially if you can't really run a lot, if you're not very mobile, but still want to be active. And also pickleball really helps tennis players because it helps with your reaction time.
Okay, so maybe I should try it. The net is hard.
It is hard, but at the net you'll get a lot better if you play pickleball because you have less time to react because the court's smaller and you're closer together. It's okay. It's not for everybody. There's actually a lot of orthopedic injuries because of pickleball.
Well, my friend wrote a book about it.
Oh, wow.
A pickleball injury book. It's on Amazon.
I'm sure all the surgeons are like,
Dr. Andrew Barry, he was on the podcast. He wrote a book about pickleball injuries. So if you are worried that you might get one or have one.
Content for a whole book about it?
Literally. Oh, yeah. And he put in little exercises that you can do to avoid or what to do after you play to like make sure you don't have a torn something or another. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if you can keep that on the shelves here in Palm Beach County because everyone and their mother plays pickleball.
I know. I'm surprised it's not a New York Times bestseller. Yeah. Okay, so
it's called Don't Pickle Fall.
Wait, he should have used that. So anyways, I'm a little bit of a hater because I feel like tennis is challenging and I want to embrace that challenge, at least at my age right now. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's a cop-out for people our age who are going right to pickleball. But listen, who am I to judge?
Yeah, you know what?
I'm wearing fake nails right now.
That's a cop-out.
Ulta Beauty.
Yeah. No, I think pickleball and tennis players can exist as one. And actually my husband just played it for the first time this weekend. He loved it. He thought it was so much fun.
But is he going to convert? Because he's a big tennis player.
No, he's going to be both.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can be both.
Yeah. He can toe the line.
So we're like bisexual.
He's bi-racket.
Bi-racket. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fun, but I get what you're saying.
So do you, at the level that you're at, do you take lessons still? Or
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, even the pros take lessons,
I know. I need to be taking more dedicated lessons. I'm mostly doing clinics right now because that's what fits with my schedule, which is reinforcing bad habits. When I have a bad habit, I know that I'm not making it better by just keeping on doing the same thing.
At the clinic, do they correct you or anything? Or do they just kind of let you do your thing?
Gently. My coach is like the coach. He's a former pro. Mm-hmm. So he's good, but he's not necessarily like a pro in the sense that he teaches. Okay. He's kind of like on that rope where he's in the middle. Like he can give some good instruction, but he's not fundamentally just about coaching.
I got you. You know, maybe
he was more of a player than a coach is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I guess my advice to you would be just maybe every time if you make a mistake, hit it in the net, ask like, hey, what did I do here? Or like, hey, do you have any tips? Just, because I think sometimes, you know, he might not know who wants the constructive criticism versus who doesn't. So he might err on the side of just not doing it.
Totally. And I give off that vibe.
Yeah, sure. It's okay. We all do. It's very frustrating to make a mistake, but I don't know. I think it's good to ask for help and of course take your lessons because you can only go up from there, and getting the bad habits are really hard to break once they're already ingrained in you. So
I know. Ugh. Anyways, but I love it.
It's
do you have
so much fun.
Like a strong point or a weak point in your game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my serve is horrible. And,
really?
Oh yeah. And then my forehand is okay. I've been working on getting top
my
spin.
forehand is hard. Like that's my heart.
Good. Okay.
Backhand is solid, no issues. Forehand, it's like so frustrating because sometimes it's amazing. And I'm sorry, listeners, this is probably boring to you.
I know, this is a tennis podcast. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot. Volleying, I'm good, whatever. But
yeah, I love the net. If I could live at the net, I would.
Well, that's what I did in high school. I was like, just let's play doubles and I'll be at the net the whole time.
Yeah. And I just actually delved into singles. I got second place in my singles tournament, which was really cool. And it's a whole new world to start playing singles when you're just a doubles player.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you watch any tennis?
I used to.
Because it helps too. You'd be surprised. Like if you watch them, it really helps your game too.
You know, that's funny because in surgery, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Or at least for me, if I can watch someone do a procedure, I can pretty much do it almost right away.
How long does it take you to learn? If you had to like do a surgery on someone, how many times do you practice it on a cadaver or whatever? Like how long until you're like confident and you are in the operating room?
And it depends on the complexity
of the
I'm saying
case. Like for you, like on average.
Like once.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, most things are very straightforward in surgery. It's interesting because it seems so complicated, and it is because there are nuances, and either you're really good at it or you're probably not. But it's kind of like a C and a hand-eye coordination thing. If you know kind of what to do and how to find the planes and how you want to align the tissues, then it's not that complicated.
Do you practice on...
I don't do any really practicing anymore. Okay. Yeah, because
like when you did learn though.
When I learned,
when you learned every procedure.
Well, obviously in residency, you would like quote unquote practice by doing cases with attending. So you would do a lot of the work, or you know, a certain percentage of the work with someone there with you. So if at any point anything was like slightly off, they would take over or direct you or guide you, so you knew you were doing the right thing. And then at home, you know, I had little. Kind of like practice things, like a little setup where I could practice.
Like Operation, remember that game?
Yeah. That game was actually hard.
Did you like it as a kid? You're like,
I don't
this
remember
is what I'm going to do with my life. I'm going to be a surgeon.
Not at all. But that game is actually hard because, move the bag, this bag. We're not even listening to you.
Sorry.
Sorry, Alex. Okay. So yeah, no, that game is actually hard because my kids just got it. And I was like, this is not easy.
The wishbone was hard.
The buzzer goes off all the time.
I know.
Actually, Cam loves to just make the buzzer go off. Like,
of course he does. But a typical boy.
Typical boy, but I also just, you know, it's very small pieces. Someone gave it to us. And I'm like, really?
Is the heart already missing?
All of it's missing. Well, the things that were still around, I threw away because I don't want them to be ingested by my 1-year-old. So he just takes the thing and makes the buzzer go off. That's like a game for him.
That's cool that you bought them that game, because I don't want those old games to die.
I don't either.
Yeah, they're fun.
It's a good game. What did we?
Sorry, we were talking about surgery, and I just think it's so crazy that you as a surgeon had to do that for the first time on someone. That must have been so like scary.
Well, you kind of get over that at a certain point.
Okay.
Yes. For the average person, like for anyone going into that world, it is very scary at first. That's reality, but that's your job. You know, that's my job. That's what I do. So you have to be able to be calm in a situation where it could be high intensity. So you just keep going.
It's amazing that people like you in this world exist, because I could never do what you do.
It's wild. Yeah, I know. Like I see blood all the time.
You know, blood doesn't so much bother me. It's funny. Like, what is it about blood that bothers people? Because like water doesn't bother you.
Some people, it makes them pass out just by the looking thought of it. Yeah. Or like getting their blood drawn. Are you okay with needles?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people are not. They freak out.
Okay. I guess everyone's different.
Everyone's different.
Their own.
I know. If more people did Botox, I think less people.
They wouldn't be afraid of needles anymore.
Would be bothered by needles.
Actually, speaking of which, I just got some in my chin right before I came here.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a couple units here and here.
Okay. For your for your orange peel or for the corners of your mouth?
I've never heard it being called an orange peel
That's
before,
what they call
but for that, yes.
Yeah. Okay. No, I do that to myself every once in a while too. Mm-hmm. I don't need it year round. Like it's something I need to do like once a year maybe. And then it kind of keeps itself calm until I need to do it again. But it's not like 3 months when it wears off.
Because it's probably not moving as much as like your frown lines or your forehead, right? And
right.
I think certain areas just kind of retain it longer.
Totally. And I think you retrain those muscles. When you have the product in there, you just stop moving it as much or stop scrunching it the way you were before so that it's, different.
What did people do without Botox? Do you ever watch old movies or old TV shows, maybe even from like the 80s or the 90s, and just how different everyone's faces looked? They actually moved and there's no filler, there's no Botox.
Isn't it weird?
It is weird. What did I watch?
But it's not, so I think we're in a bubble because listen, I went to school the other day, Charlie's school, and a lot of
Are you about to out some moms right now?
No, I'm not going to say any names, obviously, but there were a lot of people there who didn't have anything. And I just kept noticing it, which I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, this is a problem. I don't normally notice that in public, but it was like a mom event.
But it's also what you do.
It's what I do. So I just was thinking about, oh, wow, like she would look really great without that wrinkle. But listen, all of them were beautiful. Sure. All of them were beautiful. Yeah. We're not going to go there. But it was just interesting to me. I obviously live in a bubble because this is what I do. You're aesthetically inclined. You like beauty. So like you see it and you're around a lot of people that do it as well. But there's still a subset of people in our area even who are much more natural and don't do anything. And I think that's great for them. Yeah, 100%.
Can't relate, but that's fine.
Can't relate. No, one of my guests from a couple episodes, Dr. Culver, she is part of Ulta, which is an organic skincare company. And they have
Ulta?
Oliveda,
okay,
like olive.
Oh, gotcha.
DA, Oliveda. Gotcha. So it's an organic skincare company. I actually signed up because I wanted to like try all the products, see how they work with my skin type. And I'm all about clean beauty. Like when we can substitute something that's better for you.
Why wouldn't you?
So I'm doing that and I love it so far. And they actually make a product. It's F59 and it's this corrective serum that has a chemical in it that is basically a Botox in a bottle. So it's a topical enzyme that helps reduce the contractions of the skin and help kind of relax muscle. So it's obviously not as strong as an injection. It doesn't last for months and months and months, but if you use it consistently, you really do see changes. And it's really promoted for either people who are Botox averse, Botox allergic, don't want to do it ever, that kind of a thing, or who want to make their product last longer, maybe get the injections less frequently. So if you're interested in that, message me because I'm loving it. And I do the whole 5-step skincare. They have an ingestible. So they have a elixir, kind of like a collagen, but it's hyaluronic acid and other natural things, all organic. And all of these are European grade, by the way. It's made in Europe. It's made in Germany.
So you know it's good.
It's good. It's all by those standards.
Cool.
It's none of the American SHIT.
Yeah.
So you have an elixir that you can drink if you want, which helps kind of from within to help brighten your skin. And then there's like a face wash, super simple.
So like a vitamin C and all, like the actives that we need. Okay.
It's mostly antioxidant based. So they take the highest potency antioxidants that you can find in a topical, put it in the bottle, and there's no water. So the first ingredient's not water.
Interesting.
You're not just throwing water on your face and it washing down the drain. Like you're putting the actual ingredients right on your face. So I've been loving it. I was an Elastin girly through and through, and I just switched.
Is it cheaper than Elastin?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I want to try it.
Yeah, I'll get you some information.
Okay, cool.
But
giving the people what they want.
For the listeners,
I think some of the listeners are going to
message me because it's really good stuff. I'm very skeptical about what I put on my skin because I get to try and see everything, and I've really loved it. It's been over a month that I've been using it. I have not had a breakout. I've seen a change in the texture of my skin, the glow, and I'm just loving the overall results. So
you look great.
It's a clean option. That's what I'm into.
Yeah, like what you said.
You don't have to do everything clean, but if you want to do something clean, I think this is a great one.
Yeah. And touching back on your point that if you can, why wouldn't you? I just don't understand with the options that we're given and the knowledge that we have.
Right.
Just go for the cleaner, better option.
Right.
Why would you not?
Right.
Instead of the fragrance and like yellow 5 in it.
Yes.
The horrible crap. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's so horrible. That goes back to read our labels.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time too.
I know. I'm a label obsessed freak.
And did you know lately their labels now have a disclaimer if the food product that you're eating is genetically modified? So it'll say on the, I know, good, right? But also I'm like, where was this 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Like, what have we been eating?
Money,
that's been really bad for our bodies. It's really crazy.
Wait, okay. So I've heard like dueling opinions on genetically modified foods.
Yes. And I agree.
It makes sense in some forms to genetically modify some foods. So it's, more viable or can last through certain weather
or maybe
types
doesn't need as many pesticides or whatever.
Right. So I think GMOs get a bad name, but I think we obviously have to be conscious about this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, but
it's tough because we don't really know. What do we really know? We don't. Like our bodies, listen, if you think about it, our body was formed centuries ago and this stuff is brand new.
Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of things, whatever we're ingesting, unless it's straight from the earth or like a natural product straight from a tree, like you don't really know how your body's going to react to that and how that process is going to be taken. So I'm mostly not into them, but I do agree that there are instances when it's obviously beneficial, to decrease the pesticides that may need to be used on that product and things like that. But if you can get away with just not having that at all, I think that's better for you.
Yeah. All I know is I eat bread and cheese
not medical
in France.
Advice.
Yeah. I eat bread and cheese in France and I feel great. And then I eat bread and cheese here and I like shit my pants and want to die. So something's going on.
Literally. And also that's what they say, that the real better sourced pastas and grains and things like that aren't as disruptive to people who have gluten sensitivity, which tells you something. Yeah. Like, why is ours so trash? I put my son on it. We were going to talk about this. I put Charlie on a gluten-free diet.
And how's that going?
Amazing. I would say he's probably like 90 to 95% gluten-free.
Okay. So
because he'll still have a couple things.
Yeah. So Charlie was having some symptoms and Kandace altered his diet to be, a gluten-free one. And she's noticed that he's had a huge improvement. His skin's turned around. Right. And so like, what was going on there that made you decide to do that?
Well, he's dealt with allergies and asthma for years now. And it's just so frustrating because I didn't have that growing up. Nick had asthma and it was just frustrating because I don't want him to be sick. It would make him more easy to get an infection or a cold. So then you need antibiotics. And then we're like on this whole system of, I don't want him to have antibiotics too often because then you get resistant to them and things like that. I'm always conscious of this stuff and it stresses me out. So I was just kind of deep diving and it was like, where could these be coming from? What should I be doing differently? And when you talk to a regular run-of-the-mill medical professional who went just to medical school and doesn't really do a lot of outside research, they're like, just take this pill, and that's not really enough for me.
Was his pediatrician trying to push pills on the problem?
Not the pediatrician. Our pediatrician's awesome. Okay. She's very she's in with the world. But like his allergy doctor, love him. He's great. He helped us in a pinch when he was really bad and we needed medication. But for example, when I went to the office and saw, both the allergy physician as well as the PA and, inquired about maybe changing up the diet to see if this would have an impact on his symptoms, they were like, yeah, you could try, but it's not going to work. And no, I don't know what you're talking about.
That is so crazy.
Like there are literal websites devoted to gluten intolerance and what kind of symptoms are associated with that, including skin rashes.
What the heck? Is big gluten like paying off these doctors? Why
I don't know.
Would they say that?
It was
That's
extremely,
so stupid.
Exactly. And I felt so jilted. I was like, okay, so you think I'm an idiot because I actually did some independent research. And this is, I feel like how a lot of people felt, especially through COVID and things like that. Like just because you want to explore your own,
you're doing your own research, therefore you're
you're like Dr.
Like
Google
tinfoil hat conspiracy
100%. And it was very frustrating because there is scientific evidence showing that gluten intolerance can lead to certain things. And he had a lot of them. Like if I saw a list of 10 things for children that would have issues with gluten, he had 6 of them.
Wow.
And I stopped it out of his diet. One day, Nick and I were like, let's just stop it and try it. See what's going to happen. So what's the worst that can happen? Like,
was it like
it doesn't work.
Day?
It really was. Wow. Like overnight, the black circles under his eyes that were just constantly there. And anytime a doctor would seem like, yeah, he's got allergies, they went away.
Wow, he's too young to have dark circles too.
That's what I mean.
He needs an eye cream at like 4 years old.
Literally. So, I'm just here to say that doing less gluten in America, I think is really helpful. It helped my kid. I think you should do what you feel right for your child, because I was told by 2 different medical professionals, yeah, whatever, I don't think it's going to work.
It's
but
amazing.
I guess you could try it. And
you were his advocate. And
really? I'm a doctor. Like, I'm not just an idiot here. Not that people who aren't doctors are idiots, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So
you're a little less of an idiot because you're a doctor.
I'm into gluten-free. And my friend Olivia has actually been like gluten-free, dairy-free for years. And I always thought she was
the dairy-free thing. I can't
do it. But my friend, Dr. Barry, who was on one of my first podcasts as well, probably like episode 5, he talks about how actually with age, adults become dairy intolerant. It's something with our, lactose enzyme. We decrease in the amount of that, so we can't really digest it as well. So if you start noticing you feel like shit, or you have digestive issues after eating, look at what you ate. And if there's dairy, you might start to become intolerant. Not everybody does though. And I'm still fine. But Olivia was having a problem. I know. Yeah. Maybe you should take a dairy pill.
I do.
Okay, there you go. So that's a solution.
No, actually, what's funny too is when I went to France, 2 years ago, I came back and I feel like my dairy intolerance got better because I was eating like the good cheese over there. Yeah. It almost seemed like my body reset.
Maybe.
So Liv needs to go to France and eat some cheese and come back.
I support that.
Yeah, and she'll be a changed woman.
Well, probably it does have something to do with the what is it called? Basically the bacteria related with it, like the enzymes, the microbiome of the dairy that's there versus here.
All these words. Yeah.
No, literally, it's probably something like that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Whatever. Bring it back to America.
I know. I saw there's a place in Palm Beach that imports like cheeses and breads from Paris.
Oh.
Have you heard of that?
No.
I really want to go there. It's like a $30
Paris in town?
No.
On PGA?
I've heard good things.
Mid.
Okay.
Mid. I mean, it's usually great, but I've also known people to get sick from there.
We are calling them out. Sorry, Paris.
Stop up your grain. Yeah. They have great lattes, and they have great, what are those little cookies? Macaroons.
Yeah.
Amazing. But, whatever.
Oh, that sucks.
We should do a food review.
Oh my gosh. We should do like slimming surgeon.
Slimming surgeon approved.
Yes.
Foods and, beauty products.
No. Next season, guys, get ready. Get your Yelps out and your TripAdvisor.
Oh God, I'll be canceled immediately. Yeah. No, I need sponsors. So
That's true.
We're going to give a lot of 5-star reviews. Just kidding. I would never do that.
No.
Okay. I feel like we need to wrap it up. It's been almost an hour.
Oh my gosh, but it's been such a good time and it's been such a wonderful season. I'm so proud of you. And
thank you. Thanks for all your support. Listen, Daria carried me through this season.
I got you, girl.
You got me started. We got ramped up. Talking a lot of nonsense.
I know. Thanks for hanging in with us. I know we kind of bounce around from a lot of topics, but
we're all over the place.
Yeah.
All over the place with Daria. Okay. Anyways, this is it. I'm taking a break. You're hearing it first on this episode. It won't be long though. Don't get sad. It'll be a very short-lived break while I regroup and get refreshed. Daria will most likely come back on one of the first episodes of the next season.
I hope I have a baby in my belly.
Hopefully she'll have a baby in her belly. Everyone wish her good luck and say prayers because we all love that for her. And if you also have not left me a 5-star review yet, I'm winning with the reviews, I must say.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Do you have a lot of reviews?
I don't know how many I have, but I have mostly 5-star. I think there was one hater.
5 stars?
There was one hater because I'm like 4.9 and
that fucking asshole.
It was from Spotify.
Spotify
rated you? Yeah. Somebody, and it doesn't have a review. It's just a low star that took my average down. Yeah. You can leave a review without commenting. I think on Spotify.
Spotify can leave Spotify itself left you a review?
No. Somebody through Spotify left a review that was low. Sorry. Obviously it was a hater. It was probably that person. Remember that person that made fun of my eyeshadow?
Yes, it was her.
It was definitely her or him. We don't know if it's a girl or a boy.
Yeah, it was a girl. Guys, it was a girl about eyeshadow.
True. I know. I was just trying to be nice. But anyways, so we don't like you. Don't come back here and, take your bad reviews and your negative energy elsewhere. If you're still listening, leave me a 5-star review. I love you. And we will see you next season.
Yes, hags. Have a great summer.
Ciao.